As a longtime science teacher, critical thinking is one of the most important skills kids today lack. But before we get into why critical thinking skills are such an issue for your child, let's look at why they're so incredibly important to begin with if you want them to be able to conquer science class. In science, we've been able to get ahead when we look beyond the surface, think outside the box, color outside the lines, however you want to put it. The only way we can do this is if we have the skills necessary to not stop at the easiest, most obvious answer or solution to our problem. Very large scale example, reusable rockets. Humans have been able to launch rockets for space exploration and research for a long time now, but one problem they have always had was when the space team returned, the entire rocket, worth millions, was destroyed because they had to land in the water. This is how things were done. That is until scientists began to develop rockets that could be recovered and fully used again. If those scientists had just continued along the same path, believing reusable rockets were still impossible, our space program would waste so much money and so much time. Thinking beyond the known, easy answer is really what gets us ahead in the scientific advancements. An extreme example, sure, but the same thing applies to students in science class. They will only get the most out of their science class if they learn to think outside the box with critical thinking skills. And once they start getting the most out of their science class, it will lead to better grades in science immediately. If your child is in any kind of advanced science class, meaning it's among one of the more difficult science classes they can take, or maybe a course that's not required for graduation, chances are they will need critical thinking skills to succeed. Why? Because these courses are ones that require students to do more than just get the answer. They need to actually learn the content on a deeper level. Most likely it's not the content itself that's presenting the biggest challenge for your child, though. It's the level of skill they need to really learn that content. There are so many skills that I can think of as a science teacher that contribute to students being able to reach their top science potential. And I'll certainly address them in other videos, but I believe critical thinking is one skill that can really boost science performance. When students can take in content and know how to process and think through it, they can answer pretty much any fair question thrown at them. That means their assignments and labs that are designed to help them learn and practice material will be something that they can successfully do. Even if a test question is designed to trick students, because they are not just looking for the surface level answer, chances are much lower that they will fall for the trick. And if they're getting even the tricky or trick questions right, students will be getting more than normal questions right too. And more questions correct, of course, means a higher grade on the test. All of this leads to a better performance and higher grades in science across the board. Great news, right? Also, if kids choose to go into a higher level of science, there is often a lot of data that students need to gather and analyze. There's no way to do this if they are just looking for the answer. It's simply not going to be that simple. But their critical thinking skills will allow them to take what they are observing, make sense of it themselves, learn new things, and draw their own conclusions using just their own skills. No teacher, tutor, or genius lab partner needed. This is how science is done in the real world, and it's something your kid can do too. So why aren't more kids focusing on critical thinking to improve their science grades? There's a lot to this, which I'll focus on in another video, but one reason is that critical thinking skills are difficult to really get good at, which means many students won't bother to try. So having something that other kids are afraid to try will really set your kid apart. But more good news, critical thinking is such a learnable skill in the right environment and with the right support. Many kids are afraid to try because critical thinking seems intimidating, and though it can be a lot of work, it's certainly doable. I teach students exactly how, step by step, to work on critical thinking skills with actual science content in my Science Skills Accelerator online course. Then, of course, we practice those skills so they can use them in their own science class and eventually make them second nature. Once students learn how to use their critical thinking skills in science class, they can begin to make critical thinking a habit. It takes a little while, and it's not the simplest of skills to learn, but with consistent effort, they begin to look at science material through a new lens. And once they do that and increase their grades, and they see how rewarding using critical thinking skills can really be. This cycle is what helps them stay motivated to continue learning and, again, make critical thinking a habit. But it gets even better. Critical thinking skills won't just help your child in their current science class. Once they develop these skills, they will be able to conquer their next science classes in high school or even college. Oh wait, there's more. Stellar critical thinking skills reach far beyond high school, college, or even science in general. Critical thinking skills will really set up your kid for life. Think about it. They're in their first job, they don't have a lot of experience, but they're able to look beyond the surface level when problems arise. These are the type of employees bosses and managers want to have around. If your child learns to make critical thinking a habit now for their science course, the sky or really even the solar system is the limit. Or maybe they want to be an entrepreneur or go into business for themselves. Whether they choose a creative path, scientific path, or some combination of both, they will need those critical thinking skills to succeed and rise to the top. My next video is going to talk more about what students can do to actually build on the critical thinking skills they already possess. I'll go through what actions you can take in order to help them develop these skills. This really is what you want for your kid, right? You want them to be successful in science class because you are a caring parent and you know that this is something that's really going to serve them and help them, not only now, but in the future as well. If you'd like me to help your student learn these critical thinking skills right now, click the link in the description below to check out my Science Skills Accelerator online course. If you want to learn more about how you can help your child improve their science grades, watch more of my videos coming soon, or show them my free quick guide with tips that can help them improve their science grade, linked in the description below. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see more of you soon.